Greetings astronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today we're going to revisit an old favourite, long eggs. Oh yes, this time a long deviled egg. So my assorted long egg videos have been wildly successful, like more than 4 million views, which is, you know, I don't know where that came from, but I'm very happy and grateful about that. And a lot of people have requested that I do long deviled egg, which deviled eggs don't feature very much in my life. I do like them, but I think Americans like them more, so this one's for you guys. And let me just point out, I'm going to use some plastic tubing. It's polypropylene, which is food safe. It's not PVC, which is not food safe. And secondly, yes, I do know a lot of people think I look like Colonel Sanders from KFC. So we've got that sorted, no need to comment on those particular topics. Thank you. So anyway, long deviled egg, let's do it. Right, you've probably seen some of the previous long egg videos, and if not, why not? Anyway, you may know that you need to make a tube of egg white in a plastic pipe. And you need a vessel that is tall enough to come very nearly to the top, which could be a very big pan or pot or whatever, but this is something else. And something to heat it with. You want the water to be 85 degrees Celsius, not boiling. So I'm using this immersion circulator, which is normally used for sous vide cookery, but not in this case. You will also need 6 eggs, a potato, and some other stuff. A Teflon rod, PTFE, to go down the middle as a placeholder where we put the filling in later, 3 bowls for separating the eggs, and some other stuff. At the end you'll need some cream cheese, mayonnaise, mustard, hot sauce, and other flavourings of your choice. So you need to separate the egg whites from the yolks, or vice versa, and you know, whatever method works for you. I just use this method of the 2 halves of the shell, because I don't really like the egg white dripping down between my fingers, and the plastic bottle hack doesn't work for me. These eggs are pretty tough. You'll notice I'm using 3 bowls, so that if I do accidentally break a yolk into one of them, it's not a disaster. Having said that, it wouldn't be a disaster anyway, because this isn't a meringue. Okay, there's my yolks, there's my whites. Now, one wonderful advantage of doing your deviled egg this way is that you can actually season the egg white before you cook it, which you can't do when it's in the shell. And that's a good thing, because egg white is possibly the blandest thing ever invented. So I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and about 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And I'll just whiz those together a bit. Right, just let that sit there. Now, critical thing when you're making an egg tube is you want the hole in the middle to be perfectly in the middle, and to achieve that you need to use a spacer at each end. Now, in a previous video I used MDF to make the spacers, which it was just a one-off thing, you know. I wasn't even thinking, but if you're going to do this more than once, don't use MDF, because it's a bit bad for you. Anyway, so what I'm going to use for this one is potato, which is 100% food safe, because it's got to be, because it's like food. So you want a couple of slices, and then you want to cut it to the right size for the tube, and if I'm lucky I can do it with the tube. No, I can't. Oh, maybe I can. Yeah baby. Okay, added bonus, potato ring. And I wonder if I can do the center hole with the rod. Actually no, I don't think I can, but I have this. This is actually for making cream horns around, but I've never done that. Maybe I should. Or an apple core, or anything that's more or less the right size. That is actually too small, so I'll just expand it a bit with a knife. I did a test run with this yesterday, and what I found was the The ends of the egg yolk that had been in contact with the potato were not set properly. They were soggy, squidgy, and I think because of the moisture in the potato. So this time I'm lining the potato in foil, and that should solve that problem. We shall see. So you need 2 of those. I won't bore you by showing you the second one. Okay, so now I've got 2 potato spacers, and I've got quite a bit of leftover potato. So I'm just going to pop that into a jug of cold water with a squidge of lemon juice in it, and I'll use that for something else. Now this needs to get up to temperature, and the reason it's wobbly is because the clamp is broken, and if anybody from Anova Culinary is watching, I would like a replacement, please. It's out of warranty, so I can't be bothered to pay for it to go back to America or whatever. Alternatively, if anybody else who makes sous vide immersion circulators, I could actually do with another one. Nothing wrong with that one, but I could actually use 2 at a time, believe me. They are so wonderful. Right, I need to oil the inside of me pipe, as it were. That was a triple entendre, wasn't it? Previously when I've done this, I've lined it with silicone baking sheet, but I found that oil does do the trick, so no need for the silicone. So oiled all the way through? I think so. Okay, we can start building and filling the pipe. So we put the end spacer on, and I think I'll just trim off the excess foil, pop the end cap on, and then the screw thing that fits it together, pop the Teflon rod in. Okay, now fill it with the flavoured egg white, or the seasoned egg white. Woo! That's full. That's too full, actually, because I need a bit of space for the other spacer. Right, that's ready to rock and roll when we hit temperature. Where are we? 80, a few minutes. Actually, I'll pop it in now, because it doesn't matter that much. I'll need to actually top that up because it's not quite at the top level of the egg, and then that will need about half an hour. Okay, now I'm going to do the filling, the egg yolk filling, and this is where we depart from traditional deviled eggs, because basically you would have, you know, the boiled egg yolk and mayonnaise and stuff. Now we can't do that. Well, we can do that, but I tried it and it didn't work, because what we need is something that is not very liquid and that will basically set, or more or less set, so that we can slice it nicely. So I just scrambled my egg yolks, and I've just added some butter. I'm going to add a bit of cream cheese rather than mayonnaise, and hot sauce. So I've got Frank's Red Hot sauce, which just turned up in my local supermarket. I've never seen it there before. So a bit of that. It is actually, when it says it's red hot, it is. So not too much. And just mix those together. I think I need the fork for this. I want to try and get a nice smoothish paste. And you can add all manner of things to these, people do. One thing you've got to do, if you're going to call it a deviled egg, it's got to have some devil in it, some heat, some spiciness. And here I am editing this, and I realise I completely forgot to add any mustard. Hashtag fail. Really taste. Can't taste this at all. Gorgeous, orangey, golden colour. Nom nom, that's delicious. I could just eat that. But we have to wait for the egg white, so where are we? Oh, about 20 minutes yet. Go and have a cup of tea. Right, time's up, so let's get this baby out. And, oh, that's interesting. Got a load of egg yolk mixture which got into the hole in the middle of the Teflon rod, which is actually a tube. Never mind. So what I've got here is cold water, and I'm just going to submerge this in cold water and just leave it for about 10 minutes to cool down so we can handle it easily. Okay, that's nice and cool. So let's see if we can get the rod out of the middle without removing the white. The white is set very well there. There we go. Hey, hey, hey. Now the next bit could be a challenge because it involves getting the yolk filling into the middle of the egg, and I was going to use my food injector, my syringe, but it is broken, completely snapped off. Ho hum. It's about the third one of these I've had, so I don't know. So I'm going to try and use it anyway because I think you know, trying to spoon stuff into there, unless you've got a very tiny narrow spoon, well, it might still be a challenge, but let's have a go. Okay, let's try it with that bit. Oh yeah. Okay, that looks pretty disgusting, but I think it's doing the trick. So I'm gonna pop that in the fridge for maybe half an hour until it's set. Okay, it's chilled a bit, I think. Oh, it is. So let's see if we can get it out. There's my potato. Alright, what's wrong with this picture? Come on. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'll go away and have a little think. I'll come back in a minute. Right, I managed to get it out by pushing it with this, which is the top end of the flavour injector, the syringe. However, this was the filling and it's nearly all come out, so that's not quite what I was looking for. Never mind. I think what I can do is cheat. So I'll cut the egg into slices, the egg white, and I'll just top it up and nobody will know the difference. Right, okay, so I've got these little wafer things, and I'll just pop a little deviled egg on there, and we'll see if we can pipe a bit more into each one. It's a bit firm for piping. Hey ho. And a little bit more hot sauce. Okay, Mrs. KeefCooks.
Oh, I say.
Devilish eggs. They were.
It's Italian marble, isn't it?
It's Italian marble, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the crackers are good.
They're little crackers. Just like you.
Ooh, that's tangy. I think it requires a glass of cider.
Oh, sorry. Got wine.
Yeah, that's nice. I don't think I want to walk around a party with these in my hand because it needs a fight back.
Yeah, you're right.
Sharp and sweet and eggy. Have you got any lemon juice in it? No?
No,
where's the tang come from?
This.
With vinegar.
Yeah, it's got vinegar in it.
It's vinegar tang.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Oh.
Cheers.
Okay.
I like it.
There you go.
Definitely not got any cider.
No. Get off.
No. It's two each. One for you, one for me.
And that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. Now please do the usual: likes, shares, comments, subscriptions, donations, patronage, all that good stuff. Or just some of it. And thank you for watching, and see you next time.